Hey, come see us on tour. I'll be in Davenport, Iowa, Las Vegas, Nevada, Chicago, Illinois, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Hey, everybody, we have special guest. Candace Owens is with us. She's a Washington, D.C.-based author, activist, political commentator, and the host of the Candace Owens Show. She is the founder of the national #Blexit movement and author of Blackout, How Black America Can Make Its Second Escape from the Democrat Plantation. From 2021 until this past March, she also co-hosted Candace, a political talk show for the Daily Wire. Welcome to the show for the first time, Candace Owens.
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. I wanted to show you this. Bill Maher, we go after him quite often on this show for his what we call horrible liberal takes.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
And so he had on Andrew Cuomo. And I don't know if this is going to surprise the audience, but they're going to agree with us here at this show that these prosecutions of Trump are politically motivated and stupid. So
what's his angle here?
Let me just play it for you, and then you get your reaction.
The Attorney General's case in New York, frankly, should have never been brought. And if his name was not Donald Trump, and if he wasn't running for president, I'm the former AG in New York, I'm telling you that case would have never been brought. And that's what is offensive to people. And it should be, because if there's anything left, it's belief in the justice system.
We should have just heard the one about trying to overthrow the government of the United States. That's the main thing. He tried to overthrow the government of the United States.
That's right.
And we're not gonna hear that.
Okay, so Bill Maher is maybe the dumbest guy still on television, second to Chris Cuomo.
You've gone toe-to-toe with Chris Cuomo, right?
This is unbelievable. Why do you think that they're not charging Donald Trump with trying to overthrow the government? Because he sent a bunch of people without guns to overthrow the government?
And also didn't do that?
And also they didn't do that. But anyway, Candace, what is it? So here's Andrew Cuomo admitting that case should have never been brought, and the only reason it was brought was because it was Donald Trump. He's admitting they're doing political prosecutions. Is that what you hear him saying?
That is what I hear him saying, but it's sort of something that you don't take as legitimate, because he was very much a part of the system that was corrupt in New York for a very long time, until he was sort of unceremoniously kicked out of the Democrat cool club. That's my viewpoint. And so now it's easy to say it once they've pushed you aside, and you kind of see him doing this and his brother's doing this as well. Chris Cuomo kind of doing the tours and being like, I don't think that people should have not used ivermectin. it just seems a little bit too little, too late is how I would respond to it. Regarding Bill Maher, I actually did his show in LA last year, and I am telling you, he can be very funny. He can be warm. When it comes to Trump, there is a rabid anger, as if the two of them had like high school beef. Like you can't even understand it. It's like ancestral beef that he has with Donald Trump. Like I don't understand it. He genuinely has Trump derangement syndrome. He wants him to be prosecuted, as you hear him saying, as if he did something and told people to storm the Capitol building and commit crimes. So I don't understand what his obsessive anger is over Trump. It's nice to hear them say it. I just don't think it means much, if I'm being honest.
He definitely has Trump derangement syndrome. I think that didn't Trump threaten to sue him over a joke?
He did try to sue him. That's why.
So that's what happened.
I was going to say, I get why he has it, because he has a grudge against Trump.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Wait, can you retell the story? Because I don't know if this is mainstream. He had a joke on his show. I used to watch the show a lot, okay? And he had a joke about Trump, because Trump was doing the Obama birth certificate. Remember, that was our conspiracy about Obama?
Yeah, that was the big conspiracy.
Not that, he's a gay guy. Anyway, he goes, I want Trump to prove that his dad's not an orangutan. And he showed an orange orangutan. And so Trump sued him for defamation for that joke. And he had a whole thing of, and I was on Bill Maher's side on it. I'm like, wait, you can't say his dad's an orangutan? Like, it's a joke. It's a Bill Maher show. So that's what I think that grudge is from, I don't know if he personally, and back then he had that great Trump joke about his qualification is he once fought Rosie O'Donnell to a standstill. That's a good line. I don't know who wrote that one.
So I think that's where Bill Maher gets his chip on his shoulder about.
So I'm assuming he lost the lawsuit, or he had to pay him something.
Yeah. Do you know what happened to that lawsuit?
No,
I
I
think
stopped caring about it.
I think it probably got thrown. I don't think there was a settlement.
I didn't think it had merit.
No, I don't think it had merit. I think comedians can make fun of the president.
I agree.
But so you think that Andrew Cuomo is like free to now speak his mind? You don't think he's trying to get back into with the liberal establishment?
Mad about the Me Too.
They're not going to allow him back in. You know, once they Me Too you, that's their way of saying you're done, you've been dismissed. And I think that he partially has a chip on his shoulder about that. And I sense the same thing with Chris Cuomo. They've sort of got a chip on their shoulder because they were, like I said, unceremoniously kicked out of the Cool Club. And so much of what he's saying now, I think, is just kind of a way for him to feel like he's personally punching back at the same establishment that he was a part of. And then they sort of took him down. And he's not going to go too far because let's not forget, I mean, I lived in New York for 7 years. You know how it works. Once you're a part of those circles, he still wants to get invited to the Montauk parties and the Southampton parties, but he'll give a little bit here and there. And so that's just him giving a little bit of an inch. I wouldn't take it to heart.
And so if he can say that on the Bill Maher show, which is a mainstream fastball down the middle, quote unquote political show, it's an establishment show.
It's got a little Atlantic lately.
And it's so what that tells me is that everyone actually knows that, right? That they're not fooling anybody. So why would Alvin Bragg, why would the people in the Democratic Party think this would be a good idea to push this case?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I will say, by the way, speaking to your point, I mean, if he was brave and was saying something meaningful, why did he wait until after the prosecutions to say it? Why didn't he say it during, while the trial was going on? Say, hey, this is absolute baloney. Well, because he still doesn't want to upset the establishment. So he's doing it post and making it seem like, oh, I've always been a good guy. I've always told the truth. I would not have brought that case. And that's a bunch of crap. But yeah, it is interesting. It's hard to see what their end goal is other than to put nonstop pressure on Trump. And this is something that really is remarkable. If you take a seat back, I think when Trump ran in 2016, he actually thought they were just going to go let him be the president when he won. They have kept the pressure, allegations nonstop every minute of every single day since he announced that he was running. And so they are just doing what they have always done, constantly trying to criminalize his presence. And I just take it as a signal that he's not in their club. You know what I mean? And that's a big part of the reason why the American public loves Trump so much is because of the way how harshly he's treated by the same system that they view as corrupt.
Is anybody else shocked that, because Bill Maher seemed genuinely baffled that they didn't go with this amazing case, which you don't think they would have if they could have, Bill?
Right.
But just the 51 intelligence agents, all this bullshit you've seen. I can't believe how innocent Trump must be now, because you couldn't find anything with the whole CIA. You had to make up bullshit with all the intelligence community. Couldn't find a real P tape. That's amazing.
They couldn't. That's the thing that is amazing, and it's why what we've said on this show before. It's why it took so long for them to impeach Trump, because they had to find a crime that he committed that they also weren't guilty of.
Oh, slowing down weapons to Ukraine.
So he slowed down weapons to Ukraine, which is one of the only reasons to vote for Trump, and that night made it a criminal offense.
Yeah,
an impeachable offense.
They didn't get weapons fast enough. Get him out.
So do you think that I was actually shocked to see Bill Maher say why ain't they charging him with the real crime of January 6th?
Bill, think a minute.
How do you think that? So I think that most of the country is now, when Vivek Ramaswamy said it at that Republican debate that was an FBI inside job. Do you think that so what's your feeling? What's your sense? Do you think most of the country is, meaning 51%? Do you think that a majority of Americans are starting to realize that? Because that's what it was.
I think it's going to still take some time for people that were on the far left to accept that reality. I mean, I was saying from day one, you're just not. I lived in DC a couple of blocks from where this went down. There is a camera on every corner. You just are not going to ever make me believe that they dropped off pipe bombs outside of the DNC and the RNC, and they just can't catch this guy. Meanwhile, they were catching grandmas who were within 10 feet of the Capitol building and bringing them in and arresting them. So it very much was very obvious to me that it was an inside job. And I think they have been so severely propagandized because of every day they were just talking to them saying like, we almost lost the country. It was an insurrection. I mean, I had family members that were messaging me asking me if I was okay. And it was bonkers. I have to tell you this because what people forget. So I could have used those texts the entire summer when Black Lives Matter was burning down Washington, D.C. I mean, they were just, you'd walk outside, they were breaking into cars, breaking into apartments. They were boarding up, places where people worked, places of worship. I mean, the place was on fire. You couldn't hear a single sound on the day of the Capitol, and yet they were showing images to make it seem like Washington, D.C. was under siege. So that sort of a stuff, it really works. People's minds get programmed, and it's hard for them to accept that what the media told them and what they believed they watched just wasn't so, that it was a small picture of something else. So I think obviously people that supported Trump from the beginning know that it's crap, but I still think that there are too many people who believe what Bill Maher believes. And listen, they're having their ideas reinforced when he says it. Hey, why didn't we get them for January 6th? Why didn't we get Donald Trump? Full derangement.
Thank you, Governor Cuomo, for setting everyone straight.
And here may be the craziest part of this. Let's listen to Adam Kinzinger. Watch this.
And good for you for January 6th.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
thanks. I didn't cause it, but I was there.
Yeah.
No, I think that the weird thing is, though, Hunter Biden, I would also say, was put in jail or was convicted,
of course,
because of politics.
Of course.
And unfortunately, that never gets out.
There's a laptop full of his crimes
With much lower crimes because of politics.
Joe Biden has locked up, the prisons are full of people because they did exactly what Hunter Biden did on that laptop, which is smoke crack with hookers. And not only that, but there's also actual, international crimes that he set up with China and Ukraine and his father and his uncle. Those crimes are on there. Plus, we have not only that, plus the gun crime. Now, they're right in one little sense that this was in a sense, politics are infused into this because they took the lowest of all crimes that he committed on that laptop and tried to convict him of that so they could go, look, we're not partisan. So what would you say to what he just said there?
You took the words right out of my mouth. They picked actually the lowest of his crimes. Like when you go through that laptop, I mean, the things that they should be investigating on the basis of text messages. I remember I shared a text message between Hunter Biden and his parents about what would amount to an incestuous pedophilic affair in their family and how worried he was about this getting out. And Twitter at that time, which was pretty much being run by the state, took it down because they said that it re-victimizes a potential victim of a crime. And it's like, okay, so I'm assuming somebody's going to pick up this baton and talk about these text messages, which are very incriminating about what's going on in that family. Nope, nobody's ever touched it since, spoken about it since. And then I think literally today, the Daily Mail came out and said, hey, by the way, the CIA was involved. Bombshell report. The CIA was involved in censoring the laptop. Oh, bombshell report. Okay, this is not a bombshell report. We all understood the state was involved in censoring this laptop. The idea that they were even trying to tell people that it wasn't real was literally a case study in psychological convincing of people not to believe their own eyes. It's like, this isn't real. What do you mean? It's Hunter Biden and he's smoking crystal meth. I'm watching the video. That's not real. It's Russian disinformation. I mean, they ran that playbook all the way through to the election and people believed it. And there are people, believe it or not, who still believe it, that it was Russian disinformation. They did not. They followed the crucial instruction not to believe their own eyes.
Hey, come see us on tour. I'll be in Davenport, Iowa, Las Vegas, Nevada, Chicago, Illinois, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.